Hi, everyone, and welcome back. It's Wednesday and the 22nd day of April. A lot of ground to cover tonight. So much, in fact, I'm not certain I can get it all into a half an hour or even then some. There is a likelihood or a chance that the show will run long. In the event of that, I suspect that David Blair at Howard's Cable will switch over to other programming. You'll be able to continue to watch the Foothills feed as we have the full hour. And then the 11 o'clock feed on both Howard's Cable and Foothills will be the entire show. And remember, you can also catch our show the following mornings on Foothills at 7 and 9 o'clock. We have Mr. Rocky Atkins with us tonight via Zoom. We spoke about the census, his conversation with Eastern Kentucky judges this week, the governor and his performance, and a host of other things. Always glad to have him with us. I also have the fiscal court meeting coverage from yesterday, a couple of arrests, if I can squeeze all of that in. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into just the most recent of updates in regards to COVID-19 from elsewhere across the nation, but that, of course, affect us all at this time. A lot of things happening. Our Senator Mitch McConnell says that right now he is very much considering the option of letting states declare or file bankruptcy instead of sending them more free money. He says that he would certainly be in favor of allowing states to go the bankruptcy route, he says, something that they currently cannot do per law. But he says it is time to make a pause for aid like we have seen coming out of Washington. He says that he thinks the whole business of additional assistance of state and local governments should be thoroughly evaluated at this time, and that he would consider again hitting the pause button right now in regards to additional aid, and letting them file bankruptcy might be another and better solution. You know, we are seeing numbers continue to climb, and a lot of folks with a lot of talk about the potential or possibility of reopening some of the parts of states, starting to encourage that way of thinking. Something to keep in mind, and that is the deaths related to COVID-19. They are on track to, by the end of this month, which is almost here, kill more people than practically all the other major diseases and things of that nature. It's the 1st of March, early in March, there were a few deaths associated, of course, with COVID-19. By the end of March, we were seeing almost the same number of deaths from diabetes and Alzheimer's as we were the pandemic. And then just last week, more people died of COVID-19 than normally die of cancer in a week's time in this country. Keep in mind that heart disease was the only thing that killed more people last week than COVID-19 across the nation. And it's still looking as though, according to some healthcare providers and other officials, that the deaths, even though I thought they were going to peak last week, haven't as of yet. And COVID-19 it's not killing in the same numbers everywhere across the nation, as we very well know, and as we here in Eastern Kentucky are certainly fortunate thereof. But where it is, it's really taking a toll and driving those numbers up. The meat market is really getting more of a place of concern. We know that Smithfield, of course, closed its South Dakota plant because 300 of the 3,500 or so employees there tested positive, and then that number continued to grow thereafter, closing indefinitely. Tyson Foods suspending operations just today at a plant they operate in Iowa that processes almost 20,000 hogs a day, about 5% of pork processing in the entire nation. A few hundred employees there out of almost 3,000 have tested positive thus far. They think that number is going to rise as well. The meat market, pork market, I'm telling you, really starting to see a strain. We're not to the point of no return as of yet, but it is certainly something for everyone to be wary of. Also to be aware of, the $483 billion coronavirus aid package has made its way through the Senate. It's replenishing the Paycheck Protection Program for small businesses, also some other aid, and if it goes through the House vote tomorrow, it should be on the President's desk by the end of the week, before the end of the week, and signed into law. Local headlines start right after this.
Come to Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville and get your prescriptions filled, your over-the-counter medications, and immune system boosters, all from the safety and comfort of your own vehicle, either in their drive-thru or with their new curbside service. You can also call ahead or just download the MyGNP app, that's Good Neighbor Pharmacy, and refill and manage your prescriptions right from your device, helping you and yours stay healthy and safe. Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville, 349-4400. A message from the Fraser's Prater Drug Store and Seasonal Shop families. Prater Drug wants you to know that you can now call, use Facebook, or use our Refill RX app to get your prescriptions refilled. And the drugstore also has designated curbside pickup parking in front of and behind the store. Simply call 349-3135. And at the Seasonal Shop, they're still posting new arrivals and taking orders with free shipping on most everything anywhere in the entire United States. And they're offering scheduled curbside pickup. Just message them on Facebook, Instagram, or email at seasonalshop@yahoo.com. Fraser's Prater Drug Store and the Seasonal Shop says let's all do what we can to help and protect our neighbors and loved ones. This is Alani. Alani is the pet of the week at the Johnson County Animal Shelter, and she is absolutely a 1-year-old cuddle bug who loves to play and be petted, and she'd love to show you just how much love she has to give. And it's the perfect time to adopt right now, and the adoption fee is only $50, and that includes spay, rabies, flea, and dewormer treatments. Our Pet of the Week, sponsored by Dr. Tom Abel of Able Eyes in Lexington, who wants to remind us all to stay safe, stay home, and his office will be back open before you know it. Times have changed. Now, and suddenly, more than ever. Our lobbies might be closed, but the Sagersville National Bank wants to remind our customers that we're still here, we're still working to provide our community with as many services as possible. During this time especially, we encourage all of our customers to take advantage of all the options we offer to manage your accounts from the convenience of your home. 24-hour internet banking and bill pay, 24-hour telephone banking, remote deposit, automatic loan payments, and wire transfers are also still available to our customers. And we're still here during our normal hours. Mondays through Fridays, the main drive-thru is open from 8 until 3, and the branch drive-thru is open from 8 until 5. And the branch drive-thru is also open on weekends, Saturdays 8 until noon, with ATMs available 24/7 at both locations. There is never a good time for a breakdown. They will happen, and your car at some point is going to need some repairs and maintenance. And Black Smoke Performance is open and here with professional, fast, safe service. And just in time for warm weather, they now have certified full air conditioning, diagnostics, and repair to keep you cool in whatever you drive. Black Smoke Performance, 349-8785. They've been so popular, we're still running the $5 off coupons for the big family meal deals. And your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe wants to remind you that you can call ahead, prepay, or drive through, and rest assured that we are taking every precaution possible to keep our customers and our employees healthy, happy, and fed. And thank you for your patience and your patronage during these most difficult times. And to help make them a little easier, we're offering $5 off our 16-piece family pack and 20-piece family pack meal deals. That's 16 or 20 pieces of chicken any way you like it, and all the sides to feed all the family, all $5 off. All you need is the coupon out of this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent, and they're giving away free issues of the Sagersville Independent with every purchase. It's that simple. Only at your Sagersville Lee's Famous Recipe. The census isn't the only thing that Rocky Atkins and I spoke about earlier today, but with McGoffin County, since we started kind of pushing it last week here on Your News Today and in the paper again, seeing an increase of 5% in just a week's time. That's a good number. From 26.5% to almost 32% in just a week's time. We are still lagging behind the state average, which is over 50%, and certainly other parts of Kentucky. And that's why I have this gentleman who is with us tonight and who is going to challenge all of our viewing public, McGoffin and Johnson and other counties, to really make a statement and set the bar for other eastern Kentucky counties. A bit of a competition here, as he hopes that everyone will take just a few moments of time to fill out the census, because it is, as he is about to tell you, vitally important. My first question to Mr. Atkins, Senior Advisor, of course, to Governor Beshear, is his thoughts on the governor's performance and how it's being perceived across our nation. Well, first, I just want to thank you for taking a little time spending with us today, Mr. Atkins. I'm always glad to have you here, either in person or by other means. We appreciate it.
Yes. Well, this is kind of the new realm, you know. We can't meet hardly face to face like I would enjoy as well, but this is the new way of meeting while we're trying to whip this coronavirus and get things back to somewhat normal.
Well, that's certainly one of the things we wanted to talk to you about. And before we go on to the census, maybe in a few other topics, let's go ahead and begin with that. Just your thoughts on, and I think I can somehow maybe put a little bit together as to what your thoughts generally are about our governor and his performance. But what are your thoughts in that regards into the nation taking notice of what our governor is doing?
Well, you know, I think the governor has shown tremendous leadership, and no matter how much training or how many offices you held, you know, I served in the House for 33 years. Could you have yourself ready for some type of situation like the coronavirus that we're going through now, regardless of, you know, the amount of offices you've held or what you've been in private sector? This is new for everybody, and I think the governor acted early, and I think that he started implementing the social distancing. He implemented closing of business and schools and so forth. And I think because of that early action by him, I think it's shown and starting to pay off as we start to level this curve, and not only talking about how we continue that effort of keeping mass groups of people, mass gatherings of people apart, and recognizing how dangerous this virus is. We now start hearing the governor talk about how we start restarting our economy now. This pandemic has shut down a global economy. It's amazing to me, as I've watched it, and he's 60 years old, never seen anything, nor has anybody else, something that could close down a global economy. So our governor, he acted quickly. I think he showed calmness. I think he's shown strong leadership. I think he has taken medical direction and advice of how to address this. But his transparency of keeping people informed, I think, has been very, very important. And now serving as his senior advisor, you know, 2 doors down from him in his office every day and being a part of these meetings, we're now starting to talk about how do we reopen the economy. It's not about how quickly we do it, but that we do it correctly and that we do it that keeping people safe. And so it's not about the quickness, but it's about doing it right. And so we're trying to implement that plan. And his press conference yesterday kind of laid out a website of where to go to start basically sending in protocols if you want to open up your business or industry, regardless of what your profession may be. Send that in. Give us the protocol of the PPE, the mask, the gloves, how you can keep the 6-foot distancing, how you can implement the very things that we got to make happen to make sure that we don't have a resurgence of this virus after we have sacrificed so much to get to where we are today. So I think the governor is doing a tremendous job. It is a tough, hard job. It weighs heavily on him. It weighs heavily on all of us. It weighs heavily on the general public to stay, healthy at home. It's not easy. It's been tremendous sacrifice, and the governor recognizes that, and he's trying to provide that strong leadership that I think he is on a daily basis. And I think it's being recognized not only across Kentucky, but I think throughout the nation as he appears on these national shows, whether it be CNN or something else. So I think his leadership is being recognized as strong leadership, as confident leadership, as compassionate leadership, and the type of transparency that people need, especially during this tough challenge that we're going through today.
I know that in your role as his advisor, you are also very involved and hands-on. I know that you've been in contact with our judge executives earlier this week, and not necessarily, maybe indirectly, in one regards pertaining to the COVID-19 pandemic, and that is, you know, the census has pretty much been sidelined due to COVID-19 and the pandemic, but at the same time, right now it's just as important, and the COVID-19 is shedding a light on why the census is so important. And Kentucky's still lagging. We've made some steps here as of late. McGoffin County's picked up a few percentage points since we've focused on it here as of late. But in regards to the census, what's the latest? What's your opinion on how important it is that we all take a few minutes to fill it out?
Yes. Well, Red, it's extremely important. You know, federal dollars are based on population, and A census is taken once every 10 years. It basically sets forth how many people serve us in Congress, in the House of Representatives and Congress. In 2010, we were undercounted because people did not respond and fill out the census form to be sent in. The population of our state means how many federal dollars that we get, whether it be Health and Human Services for Medicaid, whether it be for education, whether it be for transportation, whether it be for workforce development, whether it be for vocational rehab. Our population count means so much to the amount of dollars that we are able to draw down, federal tax dollars, to come to Kentucky to help do the very things that I just mentioned. If we want federal dollars to build, a federal highway, to put into projects like the Mountain Parkway, put in projects like US 23, our interstate system, if we want to see people be able to have good health care with the expansion of Medicaid, if we want to be able to see education and our children have the federal dollars that they need and deserve, we have got to have people get online, make a phone call, or mail in their census form or application that they got in the mail or should have gotten in the mail. The conference call that I had with mostly Eastern Kentucky County judges yesterday, and the day before that was the ad development, our area development district directors the day before, to talk about our region of Eastern Kentucky. I'm from Eastern Kentucky like you, and I'm proud of it. And if you look at the statewide numbers that are coming in on census, the Eastern Kentucky region is really lacking behind. The overall response to the census up to this point, statewide, is some 54-55%. But if you look at Eastern Kentucky, those numbers range any place from 12% to the mid 30s, and probably an average of low 30 to mid 30s is what our response is now in Eastern Kentucky. And our folks have got to take time, especially while you're healthy at home. If you have questions that need to be answered, please call your county judge. Judge Wyman has all the information there, the phone number you can call, the mailing address, how to get online. It takes 2 minutes online. A lot of people don't have internet service. A lot of people may not have computers. But to fill out this form by calling in on a telephone line or mailing your application that you got in the mail through the mail is so important. The amount of federal dollars that we get from the federal government for all these different agencies and programs that we put to so much use with our population throughout Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky. But it's also important. I was here during redistricting when we lost a congressional seat because we didn't respond. Instead of having 7 congressmen now, we only have 6. And we need to do better, and we have the time to do it. It's not just something that's important to me. It's important to every individual. You as yourself, your family. This is not a pleading from somebody that's it's going to benefit me, which it will, just because I'm an individual that lives in Kentucky. But it really benefits you as that person that may be listening to this, how important it is to you, how important it is to your family, and how important it especially is now during this pandemic, when one of the passages of the stimulus money basically was allocated on population across the country. So the more population we have, even during a situation with emergency legislation being passed in Congress now, the stimulus money that we're getting is based on population. We need to make sure we have a good count, and especially in Eastern Kentucky. We need to get people to respond. We need to get that 30-some% up to the 60 and 70% and even greater if we can. So my plea today, my challenge today, as a fellow Eastern Kentuckian, your neighbor, is to take time to fill out the census, send it in. If you have questions, please pick up the phone, call your county judges. They're very involved in this. We had a great phone call yesterday, and we hope to see those numbers move as we go through the days, weeks, and months ahead.
Rocky said in closing, we are Team Kentucky. We will get through this together. It is time to fight, continue to fight against the resurgence of COVID-19, and stay home and stay strong. He also promised to speak with us anytime I have the time to reach out to him, which I promised him to be careful what you ask for. We'll take him up on that and talk to Mr. Atkins again very, very soon. I've been talking for the past several days with school officials, the principal of the high school, Mr. Meadows, Mr. Helton, and they are working very hard to make a lot of plans for anything they can do in regards to honoring and recognizing their seniors. Mr. Meadows says that cap and gown orders should be shipping soon. They'll be at the school very soon, maybe next week. They'll be announcing and sending out a one call to seniors when you can pick them up. They're also working with, and I'm going to be working with them as well, and planning a virtual baccalaureate service, senior awards ceremony virtually as well, and a virtual project graduation. As for graduation itself, they have submitted a couple of options to the state. One which they're hoping for, which might actually be bringing students onto the stage by themselves, maybe with a member of their family or so, one at a time. They're not thinking that's going to really pass, but they were hopeful of that. They are working on some other options, and we here and I at Your News Today are going to work very hard. We're going to do as much video of this. We're going to put a few productions together, and they've got some other really great ideas, and I'm going to help in any way I can. So just to let you know that they are really working hard on this, and they'll be making some announcements very, very soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow or the end of the week. A lot of neat things that they're trying to do, and privileged to try to be a part of it in some form or fashion. With that said, I'll be right back.
With the power to bring us together even when we're far apart, we keep families connected. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
All Pro understands that we are all just trying to make it through these most difficult of times, and they want you to know that they're here to help with any repairs or projects that you need done. Big or small, doesn't matter. They've got 0% financing for 18 months and long-term financing if you need it. If you need anything from a new gutter to a new house or a new garage, call All Pro Gutter Works and Construction, 349-9999. Car accidents don't stop. Accidents at work don't stop. Disability and SSI cases don't stop. Your legal needs and concerns don't stop for the coronavirus, and neither does McFarland and Tinker. They are open, able to schedule appointments per CDC guidelines, and always available for telephone and video conferences. Please, be safe, be smart, stay home, and don't let your legal needs fall victim to the pandemic. Call McFarland and Tinker and let them take care of them for you. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by for huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424.
Real quickly, here's what's happening on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. A birthday wish to kick it off tonight.
A birthday wish, Linda Hammond. Happy birthday to you. It's as good as I can do, Linda. I hope you've had a good one. I think this comes in a bit belated because I just got the message today, but some friends and fam called it in yesterday wanting us to wish you the very happiest and best of birthdays. Happy birthday to you, Linda. Couple of things on the calendar tonight. The Gulf County Head Start program says they are now taking applications if your child or children are going to be 3 or 4 by August the 1st and you want to get them a head start. Call 349-3488. That's the McGough County Head Start program. And from our friends over at the Water into Wine Food Pantry at the Lakefront Church of God, which will be a feature story in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent. Things over there are not exactly as you might assume in regards to the pandemic. The need is increased, but they also have plenty of food, and I'll let Heather, our editor, tell you all about that tomorrow. But they do have some new guidelines beginning at the first of the month. No family can be served without a pantry card or paper, and if you haven't registered your family, you may now do so by a smartphone app listed under Lakefront Church of God in your Apple and Android store. How cool is that? Or you can call 349-6301. You have to get at the pantry between the hours of 9 and 11:30 on the designated days. That's when the gates close. All those in the parking lot before 11:30 will be served. So place your cards in your windows of your vehicles. They'll walk through, scan you through your window, and you can visit the pantry once a month. Remember, their computer system is designed to catch those who get there more than once a month. So if you get flagged, you're out and you got to leave. So don't break the rules. They're there to help serve everyone. And if you have any questions, call 244-4818, their 24-hour hotline. Man, they've got it going on over there. And we like to think we've got our calendar going on for you each and every weeknight if you have an announcement, birthday, anniversary, or otherwise. And remember, birth announcements, wedding announcements, all that for free in the Sagersville Independent. So send those to us with pics, however you want them to go. We'll put them in the paper, too. I've dreaded this portion of the program. It's going to be a brief one for tonight because arrangements are still incomplete. But having to announce the passing of 61-year-old Tammy Harper, a dear friend of pretty much everyone here at the newsroom, has been a bit tough today. Nevertheless, Tammy passed away on yesterday's date at the UK Medical Center. Arrangements incomplete at this time, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. She, of course, is survived by her husband, Bill, children, grandkids, and a host of family, and a lot of friends. They're going to miss her and will continue to love her dearly. We'll have the complete funeral arrangements as soon as they are made. Once again, 61-year-old Tammy Harper of Sagersville.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
Now moving on to an update from our governor. Floyd County confirmed its 6th COVID-19 case yesterday, and in doing so alerted the public to possibly self-quarantine if anyone was an individual who went into the Allen subway over the recent few days. The most recent to be tested or to have tested positive for COVID-19 is said to be a 27-year-old female who was diagnosed on the 21st yesterday, recovering at home, self-isolating, but also an employee, we believe, of the Allen subway. Officials saying that if you have been in there in the past few days to possibly not too possibly, but you are urged out of an abundance of caution to self-quarantine if you visited that business over the past few days. Specifically, April the 16th through 17th or 18th, you should quarantine for 14 days and monitor yourself and your symptoms. A 4-month-old, there was a 5-year-old in Michigan, I believe it was, who died days ago from COVID-19. Another young child, this is a 4-month-old in West Virginia. We've had infants as young as 10 days and I believe few months of age here in Kentucky test positive. So certainly our young people and our little people are being affected too. With that, here is the latest update from Governor Beshear as of just this afternoon.
Similar to remarks the governor made yesterday in regards to Kentucky reaching a plateau, he says with the increased testing capacity as Kentucky works to obtain or be able to conduct 20,000 tests at least per week, the new numbers announced tonight still seem to reaffirm that Kentucky has plateaued, at least for the time being, and hopefully will start the downhill trend after.
Our numbers for today, our total number of new cases is 196, and when we remove duplicates or those from out of state, our total number of cases in Kentucky is now 3,373. Now, given that we are doing more tests and how those numbers have gone up and down, we do believe in the total number of tests that we are still plateaued. Nobody wants 196 new cases, but we are not seeing a day-over-day increase, and when we average it all out, we're not seeing really a 3-day over 3-day increase, which we were seeing as early as about 2 weeks ago, or even less. So again, each day a number of new cases, even with the amount of tests going up, has us believing that we have plateaued. Though we don't think we've hit the decline yet. But remember, we won't know that we've hit the decline until we have 3, 4, 5 days of data. That'll really be what shows us that. But listen, if we have plateaued, and we're all using the best data we have. We want to be out of it, but that is a good sign as we move forward.
The governor also added, as Kentucky is continuing to increase testing capacity, that so far 36,075 tests have been done. He also announced 14 more Kentuckians losing their lives as a result of COVID-19, which puts us at 185 lives lost in the Commonwealth since the pandemic began. Keep in mind all of this as the CDC says today that the second wave or a second wave of COVID-19 of the pandemic could happen this winter. It could be even deadlier, and it has claimed the lives of 42,000 Americans thus far. On a local note, I spoke with Pete Shepard, our local health director, earlier today. He says that Magoffin County has seen its largest days of testing in the last 2 days. 29 people tested in Magoffin County. Those results pending due back tomorrow. But as of last Friday, as I told you last evening, 175 people had been tested, an additional at least 29 this week, and still all results, which have come back thus far in Magoffin County, and that includes Magoffin Countyans who have been tested in neighboring county facilities, have all come back negative. That leaves Magoffin County one of only 12, I believe, Kentuckies in the entire Commonwealth with no confirmed cases, even though we believe, of course, there is confirmed cases or a confirmed case or confirmed cases here, just not confirmed. Nevertheless, it is a very wonderful distinction. And actually, out of those 12 counties, you've got Estill, Lee, Wolf, and Magoffin, which all connect in a little chain, 4 of those 12. And Elliott also, of course, nearby, making 5 Eastern Kentucky counties of the 12, which have no confirmed cases to date. Let me go ahead and jump right into your weather forecast as we wrap it up tonight, powered as it is nightly by Licking Valley RECC. With that in mind, another mild one this evening. 50 degrees is where we'll bottom out at, not too far to fall. Cloudy skies, and as we've been talking about 4 days, things change during the overnight tonight and definitely into your Thursday with an updated total rainfall accumulation in just a second. First off, an 80% chance of showers. We'll start it off tonight, mainly after 2 a.m. for us here in the viewing area, accompanied by a light southwest wind, 3 to 7 or so. Not much rainfall tonight, maybe 1/10 of an inch, if that. The rainfall amounts will start to stack up tomorrow, though. Showers, thunderstorms possible in the afternoon on your Thursday after 2, pushing close to 70 tomorrow in the upper 60s. Southeast winds 8 to 31 mile per hour gusts. Thunderstorms might see some more winds than that. Rainfall amounts, a quarter to a half inch of rain tomorrow, maybe another quarter to a half inch tomorrow night. So total rainfall amounts has backed off just about a quarter of an inch or so from yesterday. So up to an inch of rain for your Thursday and Thursday night. And winds still out of the southwest tomorrow night up to 15 miles per hour. Lingering showers into your Friday, 63, just a tad bit cooler. We will see skies gradually become mostly sunny with that 63 temperature, and winds out of the west-northwest, 6 to maybe 16 miles per hour. Shower chances linger, but hold on to 20% over the course of your Friday night, mostly cloudy, and 49 that night. Headed into the weekend from there, we'll see a Saturday with more clouds and showers and possible storms than anything else. 64 degrees for the first half of your weekend. Showers and thunderstorms indeed are likely. An 80% chance, that's a likelihood, on your Saturday and Saturday night. We'll have to watch for another round of thunderstorms Saturday. Partly sunny, but a 50% chance of showers on your Sunday. Highs in the mid-50s. Still a 50% chance, mind you. 30% chance of lingering showers Sunday night, a low of 39. One of the colder nights that we've had for a few days. And then Monday will rebound into the low 60s with mostly sunny, 62, and a dry start to the week. That will see shower chances creep back in during the overnight Monday to the tune of 20%, and then just go up from there all the way through midweek. By Tuesday, 67, a little bit of sunshine, but a 60% chance of showers. Wednesday, again, upper 60s, but a likelihood of showers. Maybe some more thunderstorms.
I do have coverage of the Magoffin County Fiscal Court meeting. I've got an arrest I just don't have the time for it, so it leaves me with a lot of news on the table for tomorrow. In tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent, I know we don't have any sports going on, and we're not going to, but our sports writer has been working very hard, and this week is another prime example. A lot of sports news and entertainment that you'll only find in this week's edition of the Sagersville Independent, as well as a host of other news and information. Our editor Heather Oney has been working on several reports, including about how a local food pantry is working hard and how the COVID pandemic has affected it there. Policies and procedures and availability, if you will. And I had the privilege, because I'm the only one in the building, of selecting the historical page this week, which is brought to you by Grover Arnott, attorney at law. Let him know you're reading that. That's one of the most popular things we have perhaps ever done in the newspaper, is that page. And we're so glad everyone enjoys it. It is an joy to sit and go through those old historical newspapers and pick something out each week. And this week, I took you back to 1958. This week in 1958, someone, I think, won a TV, as well as someone being honored with a medal for his service and dedication to our country and community. A local man. Some millionaires were about to be made if and when a big oil wells struck in a neighboring county. And then we'll take a look back at a few ads and how a few things were a little cheaper back then than they are today. It's all coming out in tomorrow's edition of the Sagersville Independent. We encourage you to pick one up if you can, if you're out, but you don't have to. As long as the pandemic's ongoing, you can go to the Sagersville Independent, just SagersvilleIndependent.com or YourNewsToday.com, same website. Full PDF version. The link to it will be there, and you can scan through the entire paper, ads and everything, every page in high resolution from wherever you are, on your device, on your computer, doesn't matter. With that said, I'll see you back here tomorrow, picking up where I left off. Good night, and thank you for watching.